This is Graydon Square, and you are watching the Reaper Legion Network.
So, I noticed that there are a lot of vloggers, and I've seen this come up, that seem to get a bit nervous when it comes to speaking in public. And I can't say that I blame them. I mean, I think if you was to ask the average person, they feel a little bit of, nervousness when they have to speak, maybe give a speech or get on stage and do a performance. And as a performer myself, I can tell you there's never been a time where I got on stage and didn't feel a bit nervous. You performed too, Siobhan. You did your acting in school and stuff.
Yeah, like every time I was there, every time I had like the butterflies.
Yeah, I think that's kind of natural, right? But see, there's ways to get around that. So I'm gonna give a couple of tips, not just about the nerves, but just, shooting online, on location in general, because I've done that a lot now and I picked up some things from doing that. So first is, of course, the nervousness. The more times you do it, the less nervous you'll feel. That's for most folks. Some people are gonna always feel a little nervous, but you get accustomed to that feeling after you've done it twice, 3 times, 4 times, however many times it takes for you to get used to it. So the important thing to do is to not let that nervousness stop you from doing what you're out there to do. Now, it can get kind of crazy because I know, just from my personal experience, when I walk around my neighborhood vlogging and I'm by myself, it's just me and the camera, I know my neighbors must think I've lost my mind because they go, what is he doing? But you got to realize that we live in a vlogging world now. People vlog and people know about vlogs. People know about YouTube and all that other stuff. So yeah, it'll seem a bit weird at first when they see you doing that, but it'll register eventually. Oh, he's probably shooting a video for YouTube, and people tend to go about their business, and you can get back to doing what you were doing. The whole balance of it is, though, you have to be able to balance the fact that you're nervous and acknowledge that with the fact that you don't let the nervousness distract you. When people walk up and you're doing whatever you're doing, shooting whatever video you're shooting, you can't stop just because people just are walking by and you notice out the side of your eye that they're looking at you. Who cares? Throw yourself into the work. Now, another tip I have is if you're going out to do, cover some event for your channel or whatever, there's some things that you could do to make that logistically easier. The first thing I would suggest you get is a monopod / tripod combo. A tripod by itself is cool. They're useful because they're sturdy usually, and you can set it up and do what you need to do. You can get some pretty stable footage. The problem with it is that once you set it up, in order for you to move it, you got to do a whole bunch of stuff. Because if you just pick it up to move it to another area, the legs are still wide out, and if the place is crowded, there's a lot of people around, that's going to be kind of awkward. That's where the monopod comes into play. Now, the one that I have, it's where you attach the camera to the monopod itself, and then you slide the monopod down into the legs of the tripod and tighten it up. From there, say you have to move, if there's something interesting happening some other place of the event or wherever you're at, you got to move quickly. You just unscrew it, pull the whole apparatus out with the camera still attached, and go to wherever you need to go at. Now, if you're worried about it being stable, you don't need to worry about that, because the monopods I'm talking about have this telescoping feature where you can unscrew it, make it longer, and then tighten it up again. So you basically have all this flexibility with it, but you can still get stable shots by just balancing it, holding it, and balancing the bottom part onto the ground, and just hold it there. Not only that, easier for you to pan and everything like that. So I would suggest getting that. The other tip I strongly suggest getting is a microphone for your camera. Now, previously I used to shoot with my cell phone before I got a DSLR. Cell phone was pretty good, it was cool, but one thing I did notice, depending on where you are, if there's a lot of ambient noise, your audio is going to be jacked up. So I went and bought a mic, and this mic was specifically for phones. You plug it into where the headphones usually go. And it actually helped focus the audio into the camera better and it kind of filtered out a lot of the sounds that was around me. And it was cool, and it really wasn't that expensive. The bad part about that is though, there's a cord that's attached, so you don't have a lot of range of movement, but be that as it may, it's better than nothing. If you got a DSLR, strongly suggest you go and get like a Rode mic with a dead cat, wind guard. That has completely changed the audio of my videos ever since I got this camera, because originally I didn't have the dead cat, and that without that wind guard, every time the wind picked up, it made this hollow whistle sound, and it really was screwing my audio up something terrible. But ever since I got that, way better, 100% better. And you can either go with that, or you can go with the lapel mics, which I haven't had a chance to go get yet, but I do kind of want one of those just in case. And I would strongly suggest those for the cell phones, because if you're using your cell phone to shoot, that lapel mic is probably better. And if I'm not mistaken, they have like kind of like Bluetooth type of a thing going on there, so you don't have to use a cord and you just sync it up to the phone. That would probably be your best option, but those are a little more expensive. But again, like I said, it doesn't have to be a logistical nightmare when you're shooting on location. There are things you can do to make things better. Those are just a couple of my tips. If you guys do the same thing that I do, you do a lot of vlogging and you're traveling or whatever, if you have any other tips that I may have missed, leave them in the comments section. But I think that's pretty much all for me today. If you're new to the channel, check out some of the other videos. If you like it and want to be a part of the Legion, please like, share, and subscribe to the Reaper Legion Network and help our community grow. And as always, please
Geek responsibly.